What is up, my fellas? Uh, Sorry for the little hiatus there. I was having computer problems and just, working and sleeping and shit like that. Today I'm gonna give you guys another, the third edition of my vinyl series. But first off, like all my other videos, I gotta shout out our album of the video, which is Hong Kong Express's HK. This is dream ambient slash vaporwave. It's in the same vein as let me find it real quick. Okay, I can't find it, but it's in the same vein of 2814. Basically, that's what 2014 is. It's Hong Kong Express collaborating with the vaporwave producer Telepath. But yeah, some good, dreamy, gazy kind of shit. Now, when we left off last time, we were finishing off the bees. So, let's get through these bees right now. What do we got first? First off, we got ourselves some brujeria with, I can never pronounce or remember this right. Pocho Aslan? Aslan, the lion from Narnia? No. Okay, Brujeria. They are a grind slash death grind, whatever you want to call it. They started out as grindcore, just straight up grindcore, but they eventually developed into death metal, and that kind of happened with a lot of, in fact, most of early grindcore bands like Carcass, which we'll talk about in a little bit, went grindcore to death metal. Napalm Death likes to switch up between death metal and grind, with every other few releases. But yeah, Brujeria, good Mexican death metal. And up next, we got ourselves some BURZUM. This is my second favorite BURZUM album. Papa Varg, the mad genius he is. Philopson. This was my first BURZUM album, and like many other people's first BURZUM album. The iconic song Dunkelheit. This is I almost want to call it like proto-atmospheric black metal, because there's so much gaze and just like fog and just wind and shit in here. Like, there's not that much, like breakbeat, not breakbeat, blast beats. Thinking of breakcore again. But yeah, just good. I like listening to this album to go to sleep. But yeah, BURZUM Philopson. While we are still on the BURZUM train, let's talk about, I can't remember this album title either. Jefes Licitaros. I'd consider this a mid-tier BURZUM album. I mean, I like the artwork, the abandoned dead guy on the trail and a crow fucking flying around. This album, I like it. I personally just bought this to try to fulfill my have a full BURZUM collection. But I'll still spin this once in a while because, it's not bad. It's good BURZUM. Now we're on to my favorite BURZUM album, which is the self-titled /Aska. I know I just said Philopson was my first BURZUM album, but my first BURZUM song was War, off this guy. But yeah, proto, raw black metal, this was a very important album in the Norwegian black metal scene. But, yeah. So, and it comes with the EP Aska, too, Aska has the foundation of a burnt church. But yeah, good shit. And to finish our BURZUM Fest is another album title I can't pronounce that well. Dit Som Angangvar. This is probably my third favorite BURZUM album. I really like the artwork, but I've heard, or maybe Varg said it himself, that this came from a role-playing game. Like, yeah, he just like totally jacked the artwork, or maybe he got permission, I don't know. But yeah, that's some Angangvar. Now we're moving to my favorite death metal band, which is the one and only Carcass. This is actually an original pressing. This is their first album, Reek of Putrefaction. Carcass were kind of the gore grind pioneers. I mean, look at Cattle Decapitation's Human Jerky, for example. That's just a ripoff of Reek of Putrefaction. Symphonies of Sickness is really good too. I want to get my hands on that, but I'm happy with this OG pressing of Reek of Putrefaction. Now for my favorite Carcass album, it's not Heartwork like a lot of other people's. It's actually, he's not Slayer. He's he's hanging out right there, and that's gonna be Surgical Steel. This was one of my favorite albums of 2013. The riffs are just catchy as hell. Really good vocals. Drumming is tight AF. It's just a really fun melodic death metal. Now, normally I don't like melodic death metal. Like, I like my death metal to be like caveman, like beating the shit out of you with no music theory whatsoever. But Carcass is an exception. Jumping off the death metal train, now we're gonna get into some epic doom with Candlemass, Ancient Dreams. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't really fuck with Candlemass anymore. I mean, like Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus, they're like, I think it was either it's definitely their most popular. I'm not sure if it was their first one. I don't know my Candlemass that well, but I don't really like Candlemass anymore. The dude's voice is just annoying to me now. Maybe because I overplayed it as a teenager. But I don't know, his voice just annoys me. I mean, look, the album cover is beautiful. It's gorgeous, but yeah, I'm not that big on Candlemass anymore. Is that a spider? Killed it. Now we're gonna move on to something else that I don't really like anymore, and that is Karatangren. Yeah, not a big fan of. I got these two albums. I'll talk about this one in a little bit. I don't really like symphonic black metal anymore. I'm kind of, with death metal, I like the shredding your throat open, hacksaw, buzzsaw, splitting your brain in half. Really raw black metal. But I mean, I'll still spin this for nostalgic reasons. I listened to this a lot in high school, and the song Bloodstains on the Captain's Log is still a goddamn banger. Now for the next Karakangren album, we got This Is No Fairy Tale. And no fairy tale it is, because it sucks. No, I don't think it sucks. I had this pre-ordered. This is limited to 500 apparently. But yeah, I had this pre-ordered because I was a pretty big Karakangren fan at the time. I mean, if you like Karakangren more than I do, and you want to buy this shit off me, hit me up. Now we're gonna get into some deathcore, one of the only deathcore bands I like, and that is CARNIFEX. This is at least maybe they've come out with another album, I don't know, but as of this video, this is CARNIFEX's most recent album. I saw them live. I think I might have seen them twice, actually. I don't remember, but I remember I saw them live at Summer Slaughter Fest. This comes on a really cool, can you see me? Translucent blood red vinyl. About CARNIFEX, the reason why I like CARNIFEX more than their contemporaries is they have a lot more of a death metal influence, maybe even black metal at some points. like Thy Art Is Murder and Suicide Silence. I love Suicide Silence's first album though. But yeah, these guys are just more death metal oriented. You know, they lean on the death of the deathcore. But yeah, CARNIFEX, Slow Death. Now we're gonna get into some brutal shit. And I am talking about cattle decapitation. Cattle decapitation, gore grind, well, they start, like I talked about with, Human Jerky, which I don't have on vinyl. I wasn't bashing that album, I like that album. But yeah, cattle decapitation, combination of brutal death metal and grindcore. Death grind, that's the word I'm looking for, death grind. And this comes on a really cool pressing. It's like the earth. You know, there's green and blue. I think it's really pretty. Cattle Decapitation, they are one of my favorite death metal bands. I mean, they're pretty polarizing. Either people love them or hate them, but I'm with the people that love them. And coming up next, we have one more Cattle Decapitation album, my favorite one, and I think is their funniest album cover is Humanure. You know, the cow shit out the dude's head. It's fucking awesome. This comes on like an ox blood pressing. You can kind of see the red in there. Yeah. More good, straight up, brutal, you know, smashing your face in, fucking death metal. And now to finish this off, we gotta talk about the Queen of Darkness, which is Miss Chelsea Wolfe. Now, I'm still pretty new to Chelsea. I got into her last year with her album His Spun. The song 16 Psyche is still fucking amazing. But honestly, this is one of those albums that I would consider a 10. Like, literally. If you guys ever want, I might review, you know, classic albums. Or, like, I want to review, like, newer albums. Like, I want to review the new Puss Mary whenever I get the vinyl. I pre-ordered it. But yeah, just classic shit. Maybe, you know, review, Acid Bath's, When the Kite String Pops. You know, I really want to do that. You guys just let me know. I'd be happy to review this too. But it's just really atmospheric and it's just soaked in darkness. I mean, Chelsea's voice is haunting and really compelling. My favorite song off here being Demons, that, you know, that drum beat. It's really a fun song to drive to. It's the most upbeat because most of the shit on here is, you know, like, stripped back and ominous and eerie, but Demons is just a good ass time, you know. My goth princess. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I will try to upload more consistently as time progresses. I've just been busy with shit. But yeah, I'm probably gonna try to do another topic video next time. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and